Seasons in PSM is a very powerful feature. So to create a season, you're going to go to settings and then down to season, and it'll bring up this season's creation area. Now, first, what is a season? A season is a given period of time that is a set period within your program that is going to have the same registration features. That is what a season is. You can run more than one season concurrently, but you don't want to have so many seasons that you're using it as like a filter, because there are other ways to filter data and seasons won't show up in reports that way. So a season is a set period of time that has the same registration features. So when we come to the season tab, you can set the current season here. If you want to show all the seasons by default, you would then say yes here, no otherwise. This is if you've been running PSM a long time and you only want to see a small portion. Same with these next two. I think it's important to say no to both of them because I'm going to see history. But if you don't want to see the class list history or the student classes history, you can say yes to both of those, and it will only show seasons that are current. Now, how do we create a season? We click Add New. Here, I would type in the name. I'm going to then set the date range. The date range is that specific period of time I was talking about. So in this case, it's going to be May 1st to May 31st. Now, when I use the seasons, one of the ways I use them is when I'm scheduling a class and I want to schedule the class during a season, I would select the season. But it's more powerful when I'm doing a multi-series. So here, my 4-week summer, it automatically sets the dates so that when I then go in to set my class times, I know that it's in the correct time period. So that is like when we're talking about how seasons work, when I click yes here, it will add the schedules for the dates of the season and be part of that season. Now, set my date range. Visible for the client means, can the client access this or see it? If this box is checked, the client will be able to see it on your online client, on your WordPress plugin, as well as in your app. If this is not checked, they will not be able to see it. If you are creating the season and scheduling the classes, leave this unchecked until you're ready for your students to be able to register. The charged student registration fee, if you've set up in your global settings that there's a registration fee, if you tick this when someone is registering for a class in that season, a registration fee will be added. I don't recommend using this part of PSM. I would instead encourage you to put any registration fees not associated with the season, but instead associated with the sales item. Now for this allow waitlist, this season has the ability to override the class. So when I'm creating a class here, I have the option to turn on or off a waitlist. If my waitlist is not allowed in the class, no matter what I do in the season, it will never have a waitlist. If my class allows a waitlist, but then I come into the season and the season doesn't allow a waitlist, the season will override the class. So you want to think about this as when you're initially registering, maybe you don't want a wait list during the registration period because you want everyone to get into the class to get their money rather than to be put on a wait list. So you keep this off, meaning you don't allow wait lists. But then once registration closes, you could turn this on, and then whatever the class wait list setting was will then go into effect so students can switch between classes. So that is allow waitlist. Now, block registrations. This is if you don't want new people or you don't want people to be able to buy a sales item into the season. So when it's set to no, that means people can purchase sales items. When it's set to new, it means new people cannot purchase sales items. So that means if someone doesn't have a sales item already, they will not be able to add to a class that's in that season. If it's set to all, block registrations for all, that means even if someone has a sales item, for that season, they will still not be allowed to register. Then we have our status. Not active is what we do to archive a season. So if a season is no longer active, that is archived. Now, open class enrollment, this is like a single one-off class. This is something that you would do for workshops or if someone's just registering for a single class at a time. Set course enrollment is one of the things that makes PSM really, really powerful. Set course enrollment gives you the ability to create a session or a multi-week course. And when they register, it will put them in all of them. When I'm creating a sales item, under this additional tab, class registration has all of these different ways it can interact with a season. So when I'm creating a sales item, if I say same day, same time of season, and I have set course enrollment of my season set, when someone purchases the sales item that has same day and time, they will be registered for all the Monday at 6 p.m. classes in that selected season. So that is one example. As you can see, there are multiple different ways that the set course enrollment can be used depending on what you're trying to create with the sales item. But that's what set course enrollment means. Set course enrollment means you're creating a course. You're creating an enrollment. You're creating a multi-session activity versus open course enrollment just means they're picking a single class at a time. Last, when you are archiving a season, which we do here with not active, you could also choose to archive the students and change their status to archived. Personally, I don't ever do this. I would prefer to leave them in their classes and leave them active in my program until I archive them individually, but that is that option. So that is going to be how we create seasons. Now, if I want to edit a season, I would just click the pencil icon and change whatever I need to edit the season.